Well, good morning, and what a crazy Monday morning it is. We woke up this morning again to the stock market plummeting. Some of us who are watching the futures markets overnight, we anticipated this was going to be a really significant down day. The Fed cuts interest rates back down to zero or very near zero, which a lot of people have questions about how that's going to affect them. I'm going to address that in just a few minutes. But first and foremost, on all of our minds, of course, is what's going on with this coronavirus. We're in a unprecedented time for most of us. I remember, like many of you do, waking up on the morning of 9/11 when the Twin Towers came down and sitting in shock as we watched the TV and watched the destruction and the lives that were being lost there in New York. Well, we're seeing something that dramatic right now in our nation, particularly with regards to how quickly this is spreading. And so our hope, our prayers are that you're not personally being affected, that you're practicing social distancing, keeping yourself healthy. And we're praying for all those people who are suffering right now. As a family, we're walking through this personally. Our son lives in Manhattan. He's in fact been diagnosed with coronavirus. He's been on a self-quarantine for the last 6 to 8 days. He probably has another 6 to 8 more days, depending on his symptoms, to go before he's able to leave his apartment. But he's young and he's healthy. He's going to recover. But there's a lot of people who won't. And so we're praying for the health and safety of all the people in our country. Now listen, what's our response to what's going on in the markets right now? Well, quite frankly, our primary response is this. Hopefully you've been positioned in such a way that you're able to just sit tight. One of the worst things people can do is sell when the market's tanking. They get out and they panic, and in that panic, they sell at a deep discount, and it takes a long time for them to recover that. Our encouragement to our clients is hold on. We've gone over all of your accounts. We know where you're positioned. We're comfortable with the fact that you're in the place where you need to be. And so our encouragement is to hold tight and let's see what happens over the next few weeks and months. I mentioned about the Fed cutting the interest rates. A lot of people have questions as to what that really means to them. And the truth is that unless you're out borrowing, getting a mortgage or something else, then it's probably not going to mean much to you other than how it's going to affect your savings accounts. So if you have cash sitting around in savings accounts, you're going to see that interest rate paid on those accounts come down. If it's in a CD, it's probably going to, it's going to stay there until that CD matures. Our recommendation is that you might think about right now, if you've got cash sitting around, to get it tied up in something of a little higher interest rate. There are some fixed annuities that are currently paying in the 2.5% range for a 3-year fixed annuity, sometimes a little bit higher, sometimes not any higher for 5-year fixed annuity. That might be a place to park your cash. Interest rates may stay repressed for quite some time. In that case, you might find your savings accounts going down again to 0.1, 0.2% return on those accounts. That's very, very low. It's hard. It doesn't keep up with inflation, so you might want to think a lot about that. On a global scale and on a national scale, the Fed lowers the interest rate to try to get money moving, try to get companies borrowing for capital improvement, for expansion, for other things, broaden the ability for banks to loan to people, open up the market for people to borrow more money. But the greatest effect for most of us, because we're probably, you're probably not running out to get a loan unless you're buying a house. The greatest effect is you're going to see your savings accounts interest rate go down, your checking account interest rate go down. Now is the time to consider what you do with cash more than you do with, for example, your investment accounts. Those investment accounts, probably right now, it's best to sit tight. And if you need to talk with somebody, I'm happy to do that. If you're not working with Clearbrook Investment Management already and you'd like a second opinion, please feel free to give me a call. I'll make sure and include my contact information on here. If you are a Clearbrook Investment client, you'd like to talk with me, my phone is always available to you. You can email me. If you want to set up a video conference right now, we're happy to do that, and I'm happy to help you set that up. Well, it's going to be a crazy week, but I hope you hold on, buckle up, and let's just take this ride together.